Being offered a management role or considering it is common crossroads in many careers. I recently coached someone in a company who shared, my manager offered me a lead role, and I've been thinking about leaving my team and finding a new role, but I think I'll take it. My strong stance on who should and shouldn't be a manager kicked in. My first reaction when someone tells me, hey, I want to be a manager, is to test their motivation. So I asked this individual, why do you want to take on that role? And here's what she said: I want to mix things up. Coding all day is a long, stale day. I want to have more influence. I want to be one of the decision makers. Considering I was already contemplating a team change, stepping into a leadership role feels like low risk shift. Reflecting on my career, I recall forming a strong opinion on who should be a manager when I reported to a really ineffective and unmotivated manager. Throughout that experience, I've witnessed people transition into managerial roles and observed both successful and unsuccessful managerial styles. I also heard people express their motivation for taking on a bigger role, and here's what I learned. Let's start right out of the gate. Being a manager is a thankless job. Many years ago, a PM I worked with offered this aha moment to me, if you will, a light bulb moment. He was working at Oprah Winfrey Network. Management is a role where even exceptional performance may go unnoticed and unappreciated. Most people will notice a bad managerial job but completely miss great management skills. It's analogous to site system reliability work. When the system functions well without outages or latency spikes, no one will ever say, hey, great job, nothing at all has happened. Good praise to you. It's the type of work where positive results are not necessarily visible or even recognized, as they're considered to be just the status quo. They're just the norm. There are ways, of course, to showcase your work, but usually you'll have to tell your story, or if you have a great manager, they'll notice your work. If you manage people well, they will be content, leading to growth, success, and progress. Therefore, there will be little need for any critical analysis of what's going on. Many humans focus more on problem solving than on analyzing underlying reasons for success. We're just trained this way. We're just brought up that way. So when something's off, they'll investigate. But if everything's good, they don't. If you're looking for a job where your efforts will be visibly appreciated, this definitely is not the role for you. There's no you're doing great soda badge awards, right? It's not 100% bad. There will be some rare, few and far between magical moments where someone notices your hard work and effort. My first such moment came when my team and I parted ways. I took on a new role at the same company, and my team moved to another org 1 unit. The engineer, who also doubled as a scrum master, reporting directly to me, took the manager role. And a few weeks after I transferred, we met for lunch, and he said, you know what? I didn't realize all the things that were so helpful that you did for us until I took on this role. This was a memorable thank you moment. Over time, I experienced more moments of praise. A report who knew me better than others even left me a sticky note once that said, hey, chin up, you're doing great. I store these moments deep inside my memory bank. I pull them out to indulge in them in my darkest, hardest managerial leadership moments. Many people think that if they can't influence or drive followership, getting a manager title will solve that. In reality, if you struggle to influence your team without authority, you're going to continue to struggle even with the authority. When a title and formal authority give you some advantage, the advantage is small and short-lived if you can't figure out how to motivate, inspire, and convince your reports that you're in line and know what's going on. Commanding smart, capable, educated people or motivating them using threats and fear doesn't hold water. Leading talented humans requires inspiring them, partnering with them, understanding the problem, designing a solution, and motivating them. I want to say that one more time because I think that might be the key takeaway. Leading talented humans requires inspiring them, partnering with them, understanding the problem, designing the solution, and motivating them. That's powerful. If you can't influence people as their peers, that might be frustrating, but if you can still usually do your job, it's no harm, no foul. However, if you're the formal manager of a team and you can't influence them on what the company needs, now you're failing in your primary job, and that's a whole different ball of wax. Most of the companies I've ever worked for took promote from the rear approach, which means that people should be promoted for roles they already demonstrated they could do. In this case, if you showcase that you can lead and do 70 to 80% of a leadership manager role, then you get the desired promotion. So, what do you do if you want people to listen to you? There's no easy way here. You'll have to build those leadership skills. And there are many ways to do that. And I'm happy to share some of my experience. But what I can tell you is it's not going to be the same for everyone. Some people have taken classes. Some people have really just done mentorship roles with other leaders who are really positive. There's just so many things you can do to drive it, but you got to figure out what works for you. Many people think, oh, well, let me just try it out. If I don't like being a manager, I can always go back to being an individual contributor. Heck, some managers try to convince you to take their role and might even suggest it. What's wrong with that, you might ask? I'm generally very, very pro experimentation and trying things out. In this case, however, the experience taught me it's very, very hard for people to give up what they consider a prestigious title and position. In reality, once you get that new fancy title and position of power, even if you recognize your job satisfaction diminishes and people under you share that feeling, it's hard to admit and take a perceived demotion. So I often discourage people in my organization from testing out a managerial role unless I'm convinced that they're genuinely willing to revert to their previous position if needed. So that begs the question, who should be a manager? I've gone through and told you all the reasons not to. I've got all the negativity out. Let's get to the good stuff, right? Here are some signs you're probably going to be a good fit as a manager. A good day at work is when you help someone get better at doing something. You take joy in uplifting others. You feel a little bit of guilt when your team fails. You're happy when your team succeeds. You keep thinking about ways to help the team and individuals on the team improve their skills and capabilities. People follow your leadership and respond well to your ideas. It doesn't have to be constantly. You'll get better, but some signal is good. You act as the gel that holds people together. You have ideas and a desire to make processes better. You're a great communicator, an active listener. You're empathetic. You understand things from others' point of view. You not only walk a mile in their shoes, but you remember to take your own shoes off first so you're not walking with bias. You notice and read body language because words are only part of the story. Being a manager is just a huge responsibility. Your work impacts people's livelihood, ambitions, and job satisfaction. You are between the company and the people, and you'll rarely get a thank you from any side. So if you don't derive joy from helping other people and making things better, you'll be very unhappy, and so will the people who report to you. There are just too many mediocre or bad managers out there. Don't make it worse. Find your true calling, and if your true calling is leadership, go for it. There are rewards. Despite the many challenges, management can be incredibly rewarding when the will and skills are present to do it. Meaning that the motivation for the role is right and a sufficient amount of the skills are there. Successful leaders witness their team's growth, contribute significantly to project success, and enjoy the satisfaction of mentoring others. If you're a parent, you'll find many analogies with both challenges and rewards in parenting, right? If you decide, hey, management is for me, I want to do it, start here. One of the things that stuck with me from the very first course I took in business school was this. Great leaders are self-aware. They understand their strengths and weaknesses and work to improve those to surround themselves with people who complement them. Start with self-awareness. Perhaps collect 360 feedback from your peers about your leadership, influence, and organizational skills. It'll inform you how others experience you and where you need to develop and grow. So there's lots of tools you could use to get there. But going back to that initial conversation I had in the beginning with the coach, what did I tell her to do, right? When I heard those answers, it led me to discourage her from taking on a leadership role. Her answers hinted at challenges with influencing without authority and were the wrong motivators for the job. To top it all off, the fact that she was considering leaving the team is a definite red flag. Becoming your peer's manager is already hard enough. If you're not excited about the domain and the work, you're unlikely to excel. She also shared that several of her peers are unmotivated and her manager is fairly absent. That setup sounded like a very harsh environment change, especially for a new manager. So if you take on a role as a manager, you want to make sure you set yourself up for success. Make sure the stars align at least a little bit in your favor, and make sure that you take a strong leadership class. We offer Agile Leadership Summits for this very reason, to help people who are contemplating becoming managers and to help people who are in management roles learn what those keys to success really are. That's going to do it. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. If you have a topic you want us to discuss, learn more at agiledad.com. We'd love to hear from you. As always, we encourage you to stay healthy, stay well, and stay agile, my friends. Until next time, do take care. Bye now.